Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladev, Jaya Subhadra, Jaya Sudarshana. Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga, Nitai Gauranga Jaya, Nitai Gauranga. Haribo, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo. Om Shabada Paramahamsa Prajapacharya Ashtottara Shatashi Srimad Jwain Greta Abhay Charanaravindra Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Namacharya Haridas Thakur ki प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद की all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories to assembled devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshuvunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Hushe Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमावों विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। We welcome all the wonderful delegates of the SIDC meeting today here and all other congregation devotees of Sri Sri Radha Damodar Temple, ISKCON Visakhapatnam. I am not supposed to be giving the lecture today here. Today I think it was scheduled to be given by His Holiness Bhaktivinoda Swami Maharaj, and Maharaj wasn't able to give, and then we tried to move to His Grace Avatar Chaitanya Prabhu, and we have Gokul Chandra Prabhu from Salem. None of them could give, so I am the last resort available. Forgive me for embarrassing all of you. I am coming for this SIDC meeting for the first time. I am supposed to be sitting in your place and hearing. So forgive me for the audacity to be sitting here and speaking in my very first meeting to SIDC. And I thank His Grace Samba Prabhu and Her Grace Nityam Sevani Mataji for hosting this wonderful event here. Samba Prabhu is very generous and has a very big heart. He has. You go to each of the rooms where we all are staying, how neat and clean he has kept. How he has furnished the room with all facilities. And some time ago, we all came here for IIYC meeting also. Here, big group of devotees. He has a big heart to accommodate thousands of devotees here. Thank you for hosting the meeting, Prabhu. And Her Grace Nitai Sevani Mataji, we had invited her to Hyderabad and Pune, and she shook the whole community with her lectures, and many of the girls and Matajis and children, everybody got so inspired by her visit. So she is an international preacher, and Prabhuji is making a big temple here, and such a wonderful, lively example for all of us to follow in the footsteps of serious commitment to Srila Prabhupada's movement. So I'm very happy to be here today to get the association of so many of you wonderful devotees. So this is a very serious verse today from the Lord Rishabhadev's teachings, Canto 5, Chapter 5, Text 18. Yeah. Gurur na sasyat svajano na sasyat पिता न स स्यात् जननी न स स्यात् दैवं न तत् स्यान्न पतिश्च स स्यात् नामोच्चयेत्यः समुपेतमृत्युम् गुरुर्न स स्यात् स्वजनो न स स्यात् पिता न स स्यात् जननी न सा स्यात् दैवं न तत् स्यान्न पतिश्च स स्यात् नामोच्चयेत्यः समुपेतमृत्युम्. Yeah. Any devotees?
Ibo, nay. Apa mata deh?
दैवं न तत् स्यात् न पतिश्च स स्यात् न मोचयेद्यः समुपेतमृत्युम्. Vaishnavis? Guruhu? One Mataji? Yeah. Guru na sasya, swajano na sasya, Vita na sasya, janani na sasya. Daivam. Guruhu, a spiritual master. Na, not. Saha, he. Syat, should become. Swajanaha, a relative. Na, not. Saha, such a person. Syat, should become. Pita, a father. Na, not. Saha, he. Syat, should become. Janani, a mother. Na, not. Sa, she. Syat, should become. Daivam, the worshipable deity. Jai Shri Shri Radha Damodar ki, Shri Shri Jagannath Prasubhadra Maharani ki, Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki, na, not. Patihi, a husband. Cha, sa, saha, he, syat, should become. Na, not. Mochayet, can deliver. Yaha, who? Samupeta mrityum, one who is on the path of repeated birth and death. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki, one who cannot deliver his dependents from the path of repeated birth and death should never become a spiritual master, a father, a husband, a mother, or a worshipable demigod. See, it doesn't say wife here. Why? Because wife and children, they are dependent on someone else to deliver them. Therefore, here it says a spiritual master, a father, a husband, a mother, or a worshipable demigod. Purport. There are many spiritual masters, but Rishabhadev advises that one should not become a spiritual master if he is unable to save his disciple from the path of birth and death. Unless one is a pure devotee of Krishna, he cannot save himself from the path of repeated birth and death. Tyaktva deham punarjanmana iti mameti sorjana. One cannot stop birth and death only by returning. One can stop birth and death only by returning home back to Godhead. However, who can go back to Godhead unless he understands the Supreme Lord in truth? Janma karma cha me divyam yevam yo vetti tatvatah. We have many instances in history illustrating Rishabhadev's instructions. Shukracharya was rejected by Bali Maharaj due to his inability to save Bali Maharaj from the path of repeated birth and death. Shukracharya was not a pure devotee. He was more or less inclined to furtive activity. And he objected when Bali Maharaja promised to give everything to Lord Vishnu. Actually, one is supposed to give everything to Lord, but because everything belongs to the Lord. Consequently, the Supreme Lord advises in Bhagavad Gita 9.27, Yat karoshi yadashnasi yat juhoshi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurishvamadarpanam. O son of Kunti, all that you do, all that you eat, all that you offer and give away, as well as all austerities that you may perform, should be done as an offering unto me. This is bhakti. Unless one is devoted, he cannot give everything to the Supreme Lord. Unless one can do so, he cannot become a spiritual master, husband, father, or mother. Similarly, the wives of the Brahmanas who were performing sacrifices gave up their relatives just to satisfy Krishna. This is an example of a wife rejecting husband who cannot deliver her from impending dangers of birth and death. Similarly, Prahlad Maharaj rejected his father, and Bharat Maharaj rejected his mother, Jananina Sasyat. The word Daivam indicates a demigod or one who accepts the worship from a dependent. Ordinarily, the spiritual master, husband, father, mother, or superior relative accepts worship from an inferior relative. But here, Rishabhadev forbids this. First, the father, spiritual master, or husband must be able to release the dependent from the repeated birth and death. If he cannot do this, he plunges himself into the ocean of reproachment for his unlawful activities. Everyone should be very responsible and take charge of his dependents, just as a spiritual master takes charge of his disciple or a father takes charge of his son. All these responsibilities cannot be discharged honestly unless one can save the dependent from repeated birth and death. So, the grave responsibility of those in leadership is evident in this shloka. In the Prithu Maharaja section, it is said, a king gets 1/6 of the piety of his citizens. And he also gets 1/6 of the sinful reactions of his citizens. So Srila Prabhupada says that if leaders of the contemporary times, if they come to know, they'll be shocked to hear this news. Because the mass of people are indulging in sinful activities, and naturally 1/6 of the reaction can be very huge. One may have to repeatedly suffer terribly for many lifetimes. And one may ask a question, if people commit sin, why is king made responsible for it? People ask such a question. You will see when Lord Vishnu saw that there is a commotion at the Vaikuntha door between four Kumaras and Jai Vijay, Lord felt there is a lack of bliss at the entrance to Vaikuntha. Where there is spiritual bliss, there cannot be quarrel between two such personalities. And the lack of bliss is due to lack of opportunity for one to relish my lotus feet. So let me immediately go to the Vaikuntha door so that these devotees will relish the sweetness of my lotus feet, and by that their quarrelsome nature or belligerent nature will be finished. So Lord Vishnu didn't go alone. He went with Goddess of Fortune Lakshmi also with him. And the servants of Vishnu, Vishnudutas, were carrying the umbrella over his head. And when the Lord arrived at the door, along with Lakshmi, the Kumara saw this beautiful darshan, which they had only heard from Brahma long before. but they had a leaning for impersonal Brahman. But now, having seen the Lord's beauty, they were charmed. And you all know very well the tulasi leaf that touched the Lord's feet, was smelled by them, and then they became bhaktas at that time. Uh, but as soon as the Lord reached there, both the parties became very guarded and they became very attentive and careful and respectful. Simply by his mere presence. And the Lord took Lakshmi with him so that, the Kumaras were brahmacharis, and brahmacharis are respectful to women, like a mother. So therefore, they became controlled in their speech and senses as soon as they saw Lakshmi. And at that time, uh, both the parties are wondering, now that we have become offenders, the Lord is going to be angry with us, and we have angered a great personality. Enraging a great soul is not proper, because you lose all good things in life by enraging a great soul. Ayushriyam yashodharmam lokana shishaye vacha hanti shreyamsi sarvani pumso mahadati kramaha. If we enrage a great soul, if we offend a great soul, our lifespan, our fame, our religiosity, and all the blessings we received, everything will be destroyed. So both the parties became very, very worried. Kumaras thought, we have spelled out a curse, very mindlessly. So I think Lord is angry with us. And Jaya Vijay thought, Lord is upset because our Swami is displeased with us because we have not treated a guest properly. We have disrespectfully stopped a guest, so it seems that Swami himself has come here to the door. So they were also very worried. In order to alleviate their fears and pacify them, the Lord looked at the Kumaras and smiled at them. Immediately, Kumaras became relieved. Because if somebody is smiling at you, then that person is happy with you. Correct, no? So Kumaras thought, okay, Lord is not upset with us. Then the Lord turned to Jaya Vijay. At that time, Jaya Vijay had thought that since Lord is smiling at them, that means he is angry with us. Generally, in this world, if two parties come to you, you are giving some solution in favor of one party. Other party knows we are going to be fine now, isn't it? Whereas Lord looked at them and smiled at them also. Jaya Vijay also. And now both the parties were more confused. Who is he happy with? Who is he angry with? They were not able to ascertain. And there is a reason why Lord did what he did. The Lord smiled at the Kumaras because when a guest comes, even if a guest is sometimes not up to the mark in behavior, you tolerate a guest and you don't mind some little deviation in behavior. For example, say if Samba Prabhu makes a policy, everybody will get only 2 gulab jamuns on a Sunday feast. And we arrive on a Sunday feast, one of us arrive, we taste 2 gulab jamuns, I want 2 more, will you give or not? For a guest, there is no limit. For a guest, he may give 2 more also, isn't it? In the same manner, Lord dealt with Kumaras respectfully, despite their spelling out a curse on his servants. And then, when the Lord looked at Jaya Vijay, why did he smile at them? He thought, these 2 servants have served me for millions of years. How can I be angry at them for a small deviation in their behavior? I should forgive them. They deserve to be forgiven. I shouldn't make a mole into mountain. So they deserve to be forgiven. So that's the very nature of the Lord. He is very Bhakta Vatsala. He is, so he forgave them. And now, when he looked at the Kumaras, he spoke to them, my dear Kumaras, you have been stopped by my servants and you are very upset with them and you spelled out a curse and you told them that you go to that world where people are afflicted by lust, anger and greed. And 3 lifetimes you spend there and then learn a rigorous lesson and then come back, get purified and then only you deserve to come back. And then Lord told, since my servants have committed this mistake, the Lord said, I have done 2 things, the Lord said. Here comes the real point of this verse. I have shown them affection and I have accepted them as my servants. Anybody who does these 2 things, you become responsible. If you accept affection and respect of somebody is affectionately approaching you and bowing down to you and you are receiving the respect and affection from them. and you have accepted them in your inner circle as a servant. You say that, yes, you are my counselee, you are my mentee, uh, you are a part of my group, and you are also getting some services done from them. They are doing services on your order. Hmm. They are respecting you, they are giving you affection, you show them affection, then the bond comes by that. Hmm. The Lord said, because I have done this with these two persons, if they commit a mistake, I should also be held responsible. At least a part of responsibility comes on me, the Lord said. Therefore, my dear Kumaras, if you wish, I can lop off my arms, he said. These are all very. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, if you read it, there, he says, what is the inner meaning of what the Lord spoke? He says, lopping off the arm means these two fellows are my right and left hand. Who? Jai Vijay. They are very, very dear to me. But lopping off the arms means I am ready to allow them to go to material world. But the Lord requested the Kumaras, make sure that after the 3 lifetimes they'll come back to me, to my abode. They'll be with me again. So now the Kumaras were very surprised. Lord agreed that our punishment was proper, but then why he wants them to come back to him? That means Lord is very fond of them also. That means, although his two servants committed mistake, the Lord told the Kumaras that the punishment you gave them was deserving. But the Lord still does not give up his affection for them. So, this is a very great teaching for us. People in our care, when they commit mistakes, it's our duty to admonish them, correct them, put them back on track, continue to show them affection, continue to teach them, never become envious of them. A father can never become envious of the son. Sometimes a leader is guiding somebody and then the subordinate does certain things and the leader becomes upset. Sometimes there's a naughty behavior on the part of the subordinate. Rishabhadev, in one of his teachings, later in Rishabhadev's instructions, he says in the same series of instructions toward the end, he will say that the leader should not become so angry with the subordinate that the subordinate fears the leader and does not follow. And just he turns away. So that is like pushing a blind man into a dark well, he says. Like that. In one verse, he says that. So we have to learn the art of combining, affection and strictness. If you are overly affectionate, like Dhritarashtra was towards Duryodhana, it's called a spare the rod and spoil the child, as Johnson said. You spare the rod and spoil the child. That means, you are so lenient. It's called, as in English, we use the word permissive. Permissive means extremely lenient. You do whatever you want. I cannot correct you because if I correct you, my love for you and your love for me will be affected. So you let them do any nonsense. That kind of behavior Dhritarashtra showed over too much lenience. That is also no good. And too much rigidity, like a brittle bottle. That's what Rishabhadev is saying. That is another extreme. So, Bhishma Dev was asked by Yudhishthira Maharaj in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, how should a leader be? He said a leader should have a blend of fierceness and mildness. He should be fierce and mild, he said. Courageous and considerate. Bold and sensitive. Strict and lenient. What is the meaning of that? How can you be both? We have to be strict in certain principles which are not to be compromised. Like Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was strict with Chota Haridas and with Kala Krishnadas. He was never lenient with them when it came to misbehavior with women. He was super strict in that. At the same time, he was lenient and lenient in many occasions. For example, when Gadadhar Pandit stopped him from going, he also wanted to accompany him. Mahaprabhu refused. He boarded the boat and went, and Gadadhar Pandit fainted unconscious. Later on, at that time, Mahaprabhu couldn't go to Vrindavan. He went to Ramkeli and came back. And then he told Gadadhar Pandit, Gadadhar, I disheartened you. That's why Krishna didn't allow me to go to Vrindavan, he said. So Mahaprabhu has a very sweet side of his personality. So you will see that Mahaprabhu, he gave the name Puri Das to Shivananda Sen's son. At that time, Shivananda Sen's wife was pregnant. He saw that she is carrying a baby. And before the child came out, he gave the name. He got a Namakaran before birth. That child, you can imagine. That means Mahaprabhu is not against sex life, but is against illicit sex life. He was very strict about it. So, in this way, we can see the Lord taking responsibility for the Jai Vijay's mistake. Which means he shows, I am a master who takes responsibility. The onus of the behavior of my servants is on me because I am the instructor. See, when the arrow came and touched the chest of Vali, and then Vali fell to the ground, immediately he pulled out the arrow and then wanted to see whose signature is there in the arrow. And there was signature of Ram. Rama was written. So in the Kamba Ramayanam he says, Eidavanirikka Ambai Novanen, he's saying. See, if there is a person who has sent the arrow, then why should I blame the arrow? I should actually catch the person who sent the arrow. Then he talks to Ram. He's asking Ram, oh my dear Rama, you are actually Raghukula Tilakam. You are a personification of good character and good behavior and good qualities. How is it that you have hid behind a bush and hit me like this? Is it true that you have forgotten Dharma for a moment? And then Lord Rama told him, you see, I am asking you, who are you? Are you an animal or are you a human being? If you say you are an animal and you cannot be, you don't know dharma, then animal can be hit from behind a bush, just like any Kshatriya can hit an animal in the forest from behind a bush. If you say you are a human and you know dharma, then you should not have pulled the hand of Ruma, who is the wife of your younger brother. Wife of your younger brother deserves to be treated like your daughter. But you treated like your wife. You misbehaved with her. For that, you have glided down from the human platform to animal platform. Therefore, you deserve to be killed just like an animal. When Lord Ram said this, he became completely pacified. He said, now I understand what dharma is from your speech. And you can never be wrong. It is only owing to my foolishness. I found a fault in you. And then Vali was ready to leave the body. So here Lord Rama responsibly explains to him why he did what he did. When he asked the question about why he sent the arrow on him. But why I told this example to you just now, because the arrow is like the servant. And the sender of the arrow is Rama, who is the master. Similarly, all of us leaders, we have, we all have many people working for us. Some of them are right hand, left hand, some of them are just below us, and there is a group of people working with us. And their behavior will be decoded by people as your instruction to them. Because generally, there are leaders and there are followers. The followers do what the leaders say and tell them to do. So therefore, who are the leaders when you ask? This is the list given here. He is saying that Guru Nasasyat. Here it starts with, here he says that, the spiritual master Guru, here spiritual master, father, husband, mother, and worshipable demigod. 5 personalities are said. See the word guru. Gu means darkness. Ru means drive out. So what is the duty of a guru? A guru should wake up a sleeping jiva and connect him to God. And a guru's teaching should be such that he should help the jiva turn the attention from dying material body to the eternal spirit soul. This is the main duty of a guru. Because his body is irreversibly moving towards death. One day, idam shariram parinama peshalam patatyavashyam shatasandyajarjaram kim aushadim prichhasi mooda durmate niramayam krishna rasayanam piba. In that verse he says, patatyavashyam. One day it's definitely going to fall on the ground. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 10.10.10, it is a Deva Sangitam Apyante Krimi Vid Bhasma Sangitam. Even if the body is of a demigod's body, this body will turn into Krimi, Vit and Bhasma, it says. So this is what Guru should teach to his disciple. Don't chase after the material bodily pleasures. This body will drop to ground dead one day. Focus your attention on the spirit soul. Liberating soul from matter is the goal of human life. And first preliminary goal. Higher goal is to awaken Krishna Prema. But this is a preliminary teaching. And also another important teaching Guru should give to disciple is the material enjoyment that is chased by the living entity is pregnant with suffering. You touch any material object for enjoyment, it will deliver you suffering. That is the way the material world is created. So, the more one is chasing after glitter and glamour, the more one gets slaps and kicks by Maya. And this has to be openly taught to the disciples, the stark reality of the material world. If a guru doesn't teach this, on the contrary, guru teaches the disciple how to adjust to the material world and somehow drag on. Be good, do good, be polite, do this, do that. Okay, all that is all right. Ultimately, what should I do? Just drag on in this material world. Dragging on in the material world means like somebody is in the jail. You tell him, is it very cold, beta? Please have this blanket. Have a lot of mosquitoes? Please have this mosquito net. So this is not service. Somebody is in a jail. You help him get out of the jail. So that is the duty of the guru, to teach the disciple to get out of the material world, not adjust and drag on in the material world. Similarly, the guru's duty also is to teach a disciple not to be under the shelter of external potency, but to go from the external potency to internal potency shelter. The whole world is chasing after Maya's gifts in the form of Dhanam, Janam, Sundarim. So it's a Bahiranga Shakti shelter. And the Guru should teach a disciple, uplift your vision to the Antaranga Shakti, Srimati Radharani. There are two Devis. One is material Devis. Which is the material Devi? Devi hi esha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya. That is one Devi. Another Devi is Mahatmanastu Maam Partha Devim Prakriti Mashritam. So the first one is Durga Devi. Second one is Radharani Devi. So we should go, Guru should teach a disciple, my dear disciple, this Durga will never make you happy. The very meaning of the word Durga, Durgama, it's actually a fort. Imagine, for example, we all are put inside a fort and the whole fort is inside is set on fire. All living entities are struggling. In Mahabharata, there is an example. There is a big kadai. There is a vessel for boiling oil. In that, all the living entities are put in that oil. That oil represents the Janma Martu Jara Vyadi oil. In that, we all are put. And then there is a ladle with which all the living entities are fried like a puri or a pakoda. When you turn, then it's daytime. When you turn, it's nighttime. So, and all are like boiling like puris. And the fire is the three gunas. Rajogun, Tamagun, Sattvagun is making the life worse for the living entities like this. So, one should know that we have to get out of this Durga. See, in English there is a word durable. No? Durable means long lasting, correct? No? Which is very durable. Dur means very difficult to cross. Durga means very difficult to cross. So, Maya, therefore he is saying, Daivi Yesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya. It's the same word. Duratyaya, Durgama. We cannot cross over it ourselves. Mahameviye prapadyante Maya metam tarantite. Surrender to Krishna, you can. So this is the duty of Guru, to put disciple in the shelter of Antaranga Shakti. These are all the duties of any spiritual master. And the Guru should give a higher taste to the disciple in such a manner that param drishtva nivartate. So, Acharya's commentary, when Shakuti Thakur gives example, one child was sleeping and the mother had prepared sweet rice. But the child was not, mother tapped like this, and then the boy turned around and left on the other side. You tap him again, he turns this side and goes to sleep. So mother gave a pinch. And mother gave a pinch, about the child jumped in the bed and started crying. And the mother put sweet rice in the mouth. And tasting the sweet rice, child became jolly. He wiped his tears and said, give me more. And then he started eating a bowl of sweet rice after that. Similarly, the Guru sometimes may have to chastise and uplift and wake up a sleeping disciple and give the disciple the higher taste of the Krishna rasa, Krishna bhakti rasa. You should give. These are the duties of any Guru. Now there are good leaders and bad leaders explained in the Bhagavatam. For example, who is a good mother? Suniti. Huh? One who guided Dhruva to Narada and to Lord Vishnu. Therefore, Prabhupada writes in that purport, I wish I get one disciple like Dhruva who will become purified and become a pure devotee and take me also back to Godhead. Prabhupada writes in one purport like that, out of his own humility. But Prabhupada wants to tell us, if you bring one student or one candidate who becomes a pure devotee, your ticket back to Godhead is assured. He says. So Dhruva's mother guided Dhruva to the right path, and then so she got her ticket back to Godhead. Rishabhadev is ideal father because he made his 100 sons sit and gave them wonderful upadesh. Nayam deho dehabhajam daloke kashtan kaman arhate vidubhujam ye tapo divyam putraka yena satvam shudyet yasmat brahma saukyam tvanantam. So he says, my dear sons, don't do mundane tapasya. It's useless. People from Pune to Bombay go hanging in the trains out. Because in Bombay they get a job which pays them 500 rupees more per month. Father, every day up down they are doing. That is also tapasya. But that is mundane tapasya. Hiranyakashipu did mundane tapasya also. So, but he taught them to do tapo divyam. Do divine tapasya. So why our father should be like that? As a father, he taught two things. Tattva Jnana also he gave, but he taught Sadachar also. He told his 100 sons, my dear sons, amongst all of you, the eldest is Bharat. And he is not just a Jeshta Putra, he is also very highly qualified. He is spiritually very advanced. And I want to make him the king, and I request all of you to follow him. Don't quarrel with your brother, because if you quarrel, everything will be spoiled. And therefore all the sons heard and they faithfully followed. The 10 sons of Rishabhadev, they became Kshatriyas. 9 of them became Paramhamsa, Mahabhagavatas, Navayogendras. 81 of them became Brahmanas. Which means in same family also you can have Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya. You can see that. It is based on guna and karma. You can see that. So, in this way, he taught them proper behavior also, how to behave with each other, and he taught the Tattva Jnana, both. Siddhanta and Sadachar, both he taught. So, ideal father. Similarly, he is talking about ideal husband. Who is ideal husband? Prithu Maharaj. Prithu Maharaj performed such nice devotional service that he took his wife Archi with him. Prithu and Archi flying in the skyway. All the devatas are showering flowers. They said, look at this Prithu and Archi. Prithu ruled as a very ideal king on earth. He divided the society with Varnashrama properly, gave them all occupational engagements, and he taught them Shuddha Bhakti, and all his praja engaged in pure devotion service to Lord Krishna. And none of his people aim at heavenly planets. Everybody is aiming at Bhuloka to Goloka. They are only aiming at the spiritual world. That is the way he has trained his people, all the praja of the world. And also, Prithu's qualities are explained as an ideal leader. And then now Prithu and Archi are going back to Godhead. And look at us, we devatas, although we are, giving all material amenities and facilities for the living entities and we are considered to be superior, but we are not as pure devotees as Prithu and Archi. So they were showering flowers on Prithu and Archi. So it's ideal husband. Yeah. And ideal mother, I told you, is Suniti. And who is a worshipable demigod? Like, for example, Lord Shiva, he has a dual role. One role is, there is Sakapata Kripa, another one is called Akapata Kripa. So when Bhasmasura came to him, he gave him Sakapata Kripa, by which Bhasmasura got destroyed. And when Prachetas came in the forest, he gave them Akapata Kripa. What is Akapata Kripa? If somebody comes to Shiva with a pure heart, Shiva turns them to Lord Vasudeva. You will see that there is a mantra. I have the shloka also with me, not here, in which Lord Shiva says, if somebody worships me with a pure heart with no material desires, when they die and their body is brought to the Manikarnika Ghat, in their ears I chant the name of Rama. So that next life they become Hari Bhakta, like that he says. So, in this way, Prachetas also attained Lord Ashtabhuja Vishnu's darshan by accepting Shiva as their guru. So, can Shiva give award liberation? People ask a question. As a demigod, he cannot award liberation. As a Shuddha Vaishnava, he can award beyond liberation also. A place in Vaikuntha planets also. He can award that. So in this way, I told you good examples. Now let us talk about bad examples. Who is a bad guru? Shukracharya. Here the example is mentioned here. Why? Because Shukra means semen. Shukra Acharya means his parampara goes by seminal sons. So his sons are Shandamaraka. So there is one, I don't want to mention the name of one organization, famous organization. In that organization, they make the guru's son as the next acharya. And then the son's son becomes next acharya. The problem with this is the acharya's son may not be as advanced as the acharya. Like Prabhupada's sons were all pious people, good people, but they were not into serious practice of, preaching and everything like Srila Prabhupada. And Prabhupada never made that kind of seminal system. He said, anyone who faithfully follows his teachings, Jai Krishna Tattva Veta Sai Guru Hai. Anyone, Keba Vipra Keba Nyasi Shudra Kenanai, Jai Krishna Tattva Veta Sai Guru Hai. Shatkar Nipuno Vipro Mantra Tantra Visharadaha Avaishnavo Guru Nasyat Vaishnavo Shapacho Guru. Even a person born in a Chandala family can be worshipped and adored and accepted as a Guru, Vaishnava Guru. But even a Brahmana with 12 qualities also, if he is not a Vaishnava, he cannot be accepted as a Guru. Even though he may chant mantras and all very powerfully. So he can't be accepted as Guru. He has to be Vaishnava devotee. Avaishnava mukodgirinam putam harikatamritam shravanam naiva kartavyam sarpochistayatapayah. If a milk is touched by a serpent, the milk will be poisonous. Similarly, no matter how scholarly a person may be, if he is not a Vaishnava, then we cannot accept his guidance, he says. So then who is a Vaishnava? A Vaishnava Vaishnavas are those who have given their heart to Lord Krishna. One who has given their heart. Bhaktarhal தன்னுடைய ஹிருதயத்தை பறிகொடுத்தவர்கள். You know Tamil, correct? No? That's why I tell Tamil. The devotees are those for whom their heart is Krishna. Like for example, Matchitta Madgata Prana. For them it's Pran. Just as the fish cannot live without water, Bhaktas cannot live without discussions of the Lord. Prabhupada says in the book SSR book, a devotee of the Lord, devotee of God is after God and after God only, he says. If you are after anything else, you are not a devotee, Prabhupada says. You should not be after anything else. For example, if I am after money or after anything like that, I should be bringing money only to Krishna only. If you are after anything else, if our interest is something else, then we are not proper devotees. Our central main goal of life should be Krishna, and the side things can be there. Many other side things may be there. Somebody has a wife, children, family, they have to maintain, they can do that. Similarly, brahmacharis also have many other responsibilities to fulfill. But our heart should be given to Krishna. Everything else is secondary. So, Shukracharya was not like that. Shukracharya was worried that if this fellow gives charity to this boy, I don't know what Vishnu is going to do. How is he going to take away everything? He didn't even know, but he knew that something he will do. So he thought, what will happen to my remuneration if this fellow becomes bankrupt? I won't have any, monthly salary coming. My pay and perks will be affected. So he was more concerned about his material well-being. Therefore, he is not a proper guru, he says. There was one temple in my travels I came across. In that temple, there was one donor who was giving monthly 50,000 to 1 lakh, he was giving like that. So, but that gentleman, he wasn't an old man, he probably was 35, 40 years or something. So he was married and he had 2 children also, but he was having an illicit affair with one college girl. So, when one devotee asked, this person is doing this, so what should we do? I said, you should tell him it's wrong. His illicit behavior is wrong. He said, we are afraid to tell him. Why? Donation will stop. So that means we are not proper gurus. We are cheating gurus. I said, you should not worry about donation. You should tell the truth. You should tell him, Prabhu, this is not proper. You will go to hell because of this. If he doesn't know, he is thinking, I am giving donation, it's a compensation for that, what I am doing. So therefore, if you are proper guru, we have to be honest. Therefore, the transparency is required when one is a guru. Some disciple is a very wealthy disciple, is giving enough money and we allow him to do whatever he wants. You do whatever nonsense you want, you keep giving me donation, that's all. That's not a guru. So, therefore, when we, here is talking about the guru, then a father also, who is not a proper father, Hiranyakashipu. He is telling, the whole world should chant, Om Hiranyakashipuve Namah. And the whole world was afraid of him. by terror and fear, he was making them chant his name. But 5-year-old boy said, Papa, sorry, the Supreme Lord is Lord Vishnu. Huh? I will only chant his name, not your name. Then you can see he got on the case of that 5-year-old child and he wanted to wipe him out. In the course of wiping him out, he himself got wiped out. Huh? So he's a bogus father, cheater father, because he didn't teach the son to become a devotee of the Lord. Hmm? One boy told me in our preaching, his father told, hey, beta, what is this? You are chanting Hare Krishna and you are wearing tilak. Come with me to my business. I will teach you how to drink and smoke. Huh? You should be like me. Huh? So the son was telling how foolish he is. Huh? He himself is degraded and he wants to degrade me also. Huh? That kind of father, you see. It's a bogus father. So then one cannot accept such a father's authority. Then one has to find out a spiritual master who is properly situated and take his shelter. And similarly, husband who is not a proper husband, who, like Ravana, for example, Mandodari was chaste, but Ravana did not care for her. He is running after other women. He is a fallen husband, you see. But because of her chastity, she got a lot of powers. So instead of guiding the wife and going back to Godhead, if a husband is, like you see, one should be like a husband like Kardama Muni. Kardama Muni gave her, gave his wife Supreme Lord as the son. Although he took sannyas and went, the son became guru of the mother, and he delivered the mother. So in this way, a husband should be ideal, not like, and similarly a mother, I already told you, Suniti was a good mother, and Suruchi was a bad mother. Why? Suruchi brought worst out of Dhruva, and Suniti brought best out of Dhruva. See, the person is same person only. Like person is Dhruva only. So all of us have an opportunity in our life. People have two sides. They have an animal side and angel side. You can bring out the angel out of people, or you can bring the animal out of people. It depends on how we, process them who come to us. We have to identify the spark and fan the spark and make that angel-like quality emerge in people. Otherwise, we bring the worst out of people. So, and why she brought the worst out of Dhruva? Because she behaved in an exploitative way. She was doing that pakshapat, or what do you call it? Partiality. Mice and me, tu, we say, no. I, me, mine. That mentality she had. So, that is why things didn't come out well with Dhruva when Suruchi was dealing with him. But the same boy, Dhruva, you can see Suruchi made his eyes become bloodshot and hot tears are coming from his eyes, lips were quivering, body was trembling in anger, seething with anger, sometimes a snake is stamped upon by someone's shoes. Like that it comes. Like that Dhruva was. On the other hand, after Suniti's guidance, he met Narada. He went to the forest and then saw Lord Vishnu. Again he was crying tears, but tears were cold tears of love for Lord Vishnu. And his lips were quivering to chant shlokas in glorification of Lord Vishnu. And his body was trembling in transcendental ecstasy, Ashtasattvika Vikar. Just the opposite. So in this way, there's a good mother or a bad mother. Also there is another mother who is a bad mother. Mata yasya grihe nasti. Bharyacha apriyavadini, aranyam tena gantavyam, yatagraham yataranyam, it is said. If a mother sometimes, if a woman is not chaste, she may become attracted to another man. And the example is given in Bhagavatam when there is a lightning in one cloud and then jumps, you have seen that? Similarly, lightning is compared to woman and the cloud is compared to man. Why man is compared to cloud? Man has a lot of money in his pocket, Jaladhar. Just like cloud has a lot of money. A man has cloud has a lot of water. A man has a lot of money, he gives wife all the facilities and everything. So the lightning is compared to woman because it's shining and beautiful. But if a lightning jumps from one cloud to another cloud, like that a wife should not leave her home and run with another man for some reason. So if she does that, then the children will get disturbed, husband will get disturbed. That's not a good mother. Mata yasa grihe nasti, he says. So one should not be a bad mother. Unchaste mother. Or a worshipable demigod. Lord Shiva is a good example of a pure devotee. On the other hand, Indra was a bad demigod, isn't it? Indra gave shelter to all the Vajabasis every year. He was giving them, rain and then grains and everything. And at one time, Indra became very proud and then he forgot his upward connection. He only remembered his downward connection. He thought these guys are all worshipping me and I am giving them the rains and grains. In this way, I am the central figurehead of the whole creation. Everything revolves around me. Everybody should be at my beck and call. Everything like that he was thinking. Huh? Indra had that mentality. This mentality can come in the life of any leader if we gradually, over a period of time, cut our upward connection. Upward connection is not very pleasing to us. Why? Because in that connection, oftentimes we are subordinate and we are small, and there are many others equal to us, and the person above may instruct us, chastise us, correct us, so we don't like the connection so much. Whereas downward connection is most pleasing to us because people consider us pure devotees. Many people openly say that you are Shuddha Bhakta, they adore us, they admire us, and they come and give us gifts. They catch our feet and pull us down, isn't it? So that we can fall down very easily. But people above us will catch our tuft and pull us up. Like Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu caught the Shika of who? Kala Krishnadas and pulled him up. So you want to be pulled up or dragged down? The choice is yours. If you connect with people above, we will be pulled up. Huh? So, therefore, Indra did not like the upward connection because he wanted to forget the upward connection so that he can think himself to be the Supreme Lord. Huh? And then he got into trouble. Huh? Then later on, Krishna rectified his mentality and told him, you don't have to give up your post, but give up your pride, he told him. Huh? Now you may go back and continue your role, he said. In this way, this verse talks about the grave responsibility that comes with leadership. Leadership is a very joyful thing that you get a separate room, you get nice privileges, facilities. You go to meetings, they will give you a very nice file, you know. Sometimes your name is also printed. Sometimes even in pens, they print your name and give you. So when you get the privileges, we think, oh, leadership is very wonderful. I am being worshipped, I am being gifted and everything. But along with that comes a heavy price. That people who are under us, put in our custody, we have a big responsibility. So in conclusion, I'm going to just say 2, 3 points what we all can do in our lives. If we should not accept too many people under us. Actually, it's not wrong. For example, you can preach in YouTube, for example, somebody is giving in YouTube, 5 million people watch you, there is no problem. That is like going out in the street and doing Harinam Sankirtan. You can distribute holy name, similar holy knowledge also. But giving Diksha is a different thing. Giving holy name and Harinam is different. Giving Mala and giving Diksha is different. Do you agree? Similarly, you can in YouTube give a lecture, you can go to 1,000,000 people. But when people come in your custody as a mentee, don't accept everybody and anybody unless they show certain amount of commitment, surrender, qualification. If they say they love you, they have to follow you. Somebody says, I love you, but I won't follow what you say. They just are like Ekalavya. They want to use your connection for their own purposes. So that's yeah, that is the first thing. Second thing, demand accountability. Accountability means for sadhana, for their behavior, for all these things, one should demand accountability on a regular basis. That should be monthly. I get a quarterly report from most of the people in my care. Quarterly reports are very good. What they are doing, it comes to be known when they send reports. Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, 4 times in a year. If you are too busy, then at least you can take yearly twice report. Correct, no? Because if they give a report, you get an idea what they are doing. And also we should go around visiting people who are in our care to watch what they are doing. Because when you get report, generally you get only good side of the report you get. So I used to ask my students that give me highlights and lowlights, both. Prabhuji, there are no lowlights. No, that's not possible. Isn't Sukdev Maharaj ki? So in this way, highlights and lowlights you should ask. And going around, like managing by moving around, we say, go around, that will help us to know, who is doing what much more closely. My spiritual master used to ask things, if he wants to know about me, he will not ask me. He will ask the people who work with me, how is Radheshyam Prabhu? So he will ask 5, 6 people, he will ask and take an average. Because he was once telling me that the people whom we are closely working with, they know you very closely. They know how you are doing. If you can please them, you can please the whole world after that. So therefore, in this way, we can take responsibility for people by having another one thing we can do is regular training program. Regular training, education, observation, and correcting them at the right time, encouraging them at the right time, both should be done. So let us take some discussion. 5 minutes you can take, is it getting late? 5 minutes? Samba Prabhu. With Samba Prabhu's permission, if any of you wish to say something, I'll give you the mic. You can take it. Because you are all leaders. You have a lot of knowledge about this, and you have patiently been hearing. You can say something also. You can send this one. Who is that devotee? That devotee is coming. Uh, it's a long mic, a long wire, no? Anybody would like to say something? Haribol. Hare Krishna.
Leaders are here. I want to make one mistake in this call. Actually, we are treating Vaishnava leaders, Vaishnava very nicely. But in the name of registration, we are treating all the existing Vaishnava. Actually, the Vaishnava stands and our people sit and register. It's like a queue. It's like a race. One place I got good, like they treat all the Vaishnavas nicely, like in Tirupati inauguration, I remember. They give wonderful treatment. Some other inauguration I visited, because I didn't visit it with the leaders, I visited with the normal people. There, actually, they go on the stand. I came, my for staying, they have to register, but Prashad, they have to register. They stand like a queue. So I think this is like a, we are want to treat Vaishnava nicely in the name of treating Vaishnava, but we are treating differently.
Yeah.
Because it is happening, but the Lord started following the same thing in
Differently.
the same thing. Actually, like,
So you come up with a better method and teach them. They will learn. This is a.
Just they got administration from
Beforehand. And
they just they treated very nicely. They accommodate very nicely. That's why I get both.
yeah, correct. Thank you.
My request to the Vaishnava, we are getting good reception when we are as a leader.
Yeah.
When as a leader, they are doing the different way.
Yeah.
That's my humble request to all the Vaishnavas.
Thank you.
Treat all the Vaishnavas nicely.
Nicely.
Get blessed.
Haribol. Anybody else want to say anything? Any of you? Prabhu? Samba Prabhu, you want to say something? Prabhu? Jai Gopinath Prabhu. Maharaj will say. Maharaj, this was a verse, Gurur na sasyat, Swajano na sasyat, Pita na sasyat. You want to say something, Maharaj? Thank you. Hare Krishna. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki,